Okay, welcome to our regular council meeting of June 17th, 2025. We have one addition to the agenda before we can attempt to adopt it, and we have a correspondence letter which I'd like to add as number 12 on our agenda. It's just a correspondence letter. Say luck with Wolf Inform Summit.
Yeah, so your worship, also number 5 on the previous published agenda was the Housing Accelerator Fund, which has been removed for tonight, and number 5 has been changed to a property tax lien seizure.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So with that, do you have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Next we have the minutes from the committee of the whole meeting on June 3rd, 2025. Any questions, concerns? No, do you have a motion on the floor? Pat?
Sorry, Chair, we need to vote on the motion.
Sorry, what?
You didn't ask all in favor, that's all.
Oh, for the agenda.
Oh, we didn't know. I thought, so all in favor for the agenda?
Sorry. Thank you.
So next we have a motion for the committee of the whole minutes from June 3rd, 2025.
I'll move.
Thank you. Mayor Hatcher. You seconder?
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilor. Okay. All in favor?
Questions?
What questions, sir? There was none.
None for me, thank you.
Councilor Webb, do you have any questions on the minutes? None? So with no questions, all in favor? Adopting the minutes? One,
No, okay.
you're not voting in favor of it?
I'm in favor, yeah.
So I'll call the question once again. All in favor of adopting the minutes? Need to see some hands on committee of the whole minutes? Thank you.
Sorry, my apologies.
All right, which brings us to the motion of payables, the amount of $355,445.53. We have a motion to discuss the open payables.
Your
I'll
worship,
make a motion to adopt the open payables as posted.
your worship, I've just noticed that there is an entry on there for the Aboriginal Women's Society for the amount of $4,228.57. That should be on there because it is that is a bookkeeping reconciliation. So it was moving money from AR to another account, so that should be deducted from the amount of payables because that money is not coming out. It was money from internal bookkeeping GL line item.
What is AR?
Accounts receivable.
Okay.
So that 4228.57 needs to be deducted from the 355,000.
Sorry, what was it?
63315.
So the amount is 4228.57.
So our new total would be.
My apologies for that.
Okay, so the new amount would be $351,216.96. With that amendment.
I'll make a motion to adopt the payables with the amendment of 63315.
I'll second the motion.
Any questions about?
Yeah, what's this one first due?
First due.
So it's got all these zeros and then it's like 1 6.
Yeah, so that's electronic payment.
Oh.
So first due is the new dispatch system for the fire department. That's our records data that was approved in the capital budget. So that's the new computer program for fire department.
And then 63312, Peter Agana, I'm assuming Housing Accelerator Fund.
That is correct.
Good job.
That is their first payment of advance.
Good job. I like that. Anyway, those are mine too. What did you, Billy? Your
Maybe
question?
just that one with the First Nation.
Which one, sorry?
63333.
333, the Iron First Nation, so that's water bill, water delivery billing.
Oh, okay.
I'm just curious about all the Northwest Health payments. Do we not just have one account for Northwest?
Unfortunately, I wish we did, but we have 5 different Northwest Tel accounts and they will not amalgamate. We've amalgamated down to that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, it's the same thing with ACO. We have about 4 ACO accounts as well. And all of them, they're multiple. Yeah, I've tried to get it, and it just, it's beyond frustrating,
They can't understand how to.
yeah.
Where are they hauling water to?
So they're hauling water to the landfill, they haul water to the ski hill, they haul water to the White Cabin, and also to the, not to the Sandy Down for all their sites. And that's months of water bills, they're really sporadic on when they submit them to us.
Okay.
We have to our own water calling now with our water truck.
No, because it's potable water.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Can I please ask about one? 63326.
3326, 565375 Yukon, 126,000. Yes, that is a payment for the first progress payment for the new boilers at the water treatment plant.
Thank you.
Norma, you have any questions?
I was just curious about the Northwest stuff.
No, actually, you guys asked questions, so, so I'll ask the final question, all in favor of, passing the open payables? Motion passed, thank you.
A quick question here. How often do they have to change their boilers in that water?
Water treatment, that was on the capital, that's the first time they've been changed since the building, and then we've had issues with the original boilers since the day they were installed.
How many years is that?
9, 10 years.
Oh,
Just curious.
Next, we have the RFP.
Yes.
Community Services Standards Committee.
Yes, so your worship, as part of the housing accelerator, plan. It was, we put out a request for tender to redo or update the community service standards. Unfortunately, we've only received one submission. Our budget for that manual upgrades and all the parts of that housing accelerator, our budget was $100,000. And unfortunately, the one submission came in at $250,000. So administration is recommending that we not proceed with that, and we're gonna reevaluate the process through the Housing Accelerator Initiative with CMHC to see what we can change and try to bring that in line. We did have feedback from another consulting company that said that they would have bid that if there would have been some variation in the contract, so we're gonna take a look at it and see what we can change to try and bring it back in.
And must have some legalities towards the granting of the money.
No, it's with regards to, that's the water, that's our manual for water, sewer, that type of stuff. Street development, all the service standards, so that possible compaction, what must be underneath the water line, how the connections must be made. And all that is our service standards.
Gotcha.
And so we're gonna go back to the drawing board and make our tender document and see what could be modified or streamlined that's causing it to go so high.
Gotcha.
There's no motion, I guess I would need a motion from council tonight. My words aren't working. That we do not proceed with the RFP RFP as tendered.
Motion from floor in that regard,
RFP, Community Service Standards Manual, what,
something akin to, do, also makes a motion not to recommend the RFP to proceed and pursue alternative cheaper, avenues to pursue.
oh, okay.
Was that in the council package? Sorry, I
Just
just,
can't see anything in there.
That's correct, because we didn't put it in because of the fact that we don't want, we weren't recommending going ahead with it. We were still working on this today to try and sort it out. But because in the tender document, it had given a deadline for today, for a decision. So hence the reason that all I'm asking is a motion to not proceed with the tender.
Okay,
okay, I'll move that.
All in favor?
And that. And all in favor.
All in favor? Yes, motion passed.
Council, it was one of those last minute things.
Oh. Next, we have the admin report, the property tax seizure, the property in question is 805 Finlayson Avenue, which we've come into recent ownership. And we need direction as to how to proceed with how do we recover our money?
Yes, so your worship, I can speak to that. We proceeded to take this property under the tax lien act. And it's been a long drawn out process. So under the town's policy, this has to go to council for a decision if council wants to A, keep the property, B, sell the property, or there's a third.
Use it for town purposes.
Town purposes, that's correct. So, this property is on the corner of, not Lakeview, the next one, Finlayson. And that's where there's the three units on the corner. And there's a fourth property in the back corner.
Across from the old fourplex, correct?
Yes, for the nurse's residence or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's another lot in the back there. It's
In a good shape.
It's a goofy shaped lot, but it is there. There's no benefit to the municipality to keep it for our own use. And the administration's recommendation is that council give us approval that we put it up for sale under the tax lien process.
Is it a swamp?
No, it's actually higher ground. People have actually, there's been some interest, Yukon Housing Corp has expressed interest because it is, they have the other three lots there. And then there's been a private individual that's also expressed interest. So I believe we'll recoup our money, and in your admin report, there is an amount there that's our reserve, which we won't discuss in public. But I believe that we'll recoup our money off of what's owed to the municipality.
That sliver on the map that goes up the side, that's part of it?
Yeah, that's.
Like right now, that's the access?
That's the access, and it's a legal access to get in there.
We'll make a motion to place the property up for sale through public auction with a reserve bid.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Okay, next we have the Jordan Master Contract Award recommendation as per the fire department and our capital budget approvals. So we're just kind of giving them the final green light on buying new air conditioning.
Your worship, I can give you a little more background. That tender was published nationally on our Mercs and plus on our website. We received only one bid on it, and that was by Dimensions Tech, Yukon-based company that does provide service to us, and the price was under budget. So our recommendation is to go ahead with it. This will allow us to actually fully put our new SCBA's that we bought into full service. The current compressor that we are using is beyond its useful life, it is not, well, we've just had the title of it transferred to us, but it will not fill the air tanks to full capacity. Because it only compresses up to 3,000, the new tanks, I believe, are 4,500,
Is this the air compressor that we got from,
fire marshal's office.
yeah, that came previously through like Faro or something?
It could have been, it was here when I did.
Gotcha. So it's an old one and,
But it's the breathing air compressor for the SCBA tanks. It's a requirement under health and safety.
gotcha. So, a new compressor to fill the SCBA, for those of you who wondering, that's the self-contained breathing apparatus of the firefighter, that's the tanks that they have on their back.
You said the funding was coming through.
Capital.
Capital, okay.
And if you look at that's from our own funds, I believe.
That is correct. Operation over.
So on that note, you'll have a motion.
Can I, sorry, Thomas, there is no signature witness on this. So is this the bid, the completed table?
Final document.
Right, we have the printed name of the witness, but we do not have the signature with this. Fetch.
We can, that's a
I know.
clarification, we can.
Yeah, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I just thought I should point that out.
Yeah, no,
because,
appreciate it.
yeah. She's printed her name, but there's no signature.
Okay, bro. Yeah, we can follow up on that before we finalize the contract.
Sorry, Thomas. go
No,
ahead.
that's fine. So on that note, do we have? Put it to a vote, I guess, for the approval of the recommendation to go with our only bid, which is slightly under budget. The new SCBA, compressor, that was the contract award. For approval. All in favor? Awarding to the bid. Didn't vote, oh, sorry.
Lauren is making.
I'll move.
Thank you, Lauren.
I'll move that we approve the bid.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Okay.
All in favor?
Next week,
All in favor?
all in favor, thank you. All in favor? Motion passed, I was getting ahead of myself, as I get the next thing on the agenda. So, you have a new appreciation for the mayor's role in the seat, I'll say that.
You don't have a hockey game on your mind, do you?
Absolutely not, but, is it still 1-0? Where are we going? Oh yeah, animal control budget, or animal control, draft animal control bylaw, thank you. Get a motion on the floor to open.
This one's actually not for a motion. You guys wanted some amendments made around the cats.
Yes, so there's, if you look at the orange writing on the side, you'll see there's some recommendations. With regards to cats, whether it just applies to house cats, outside cats, or all cats. Your thoughts?
I think that all cats need to be licensed. Sorry if I just cut someone off. I think that all cats need to be licensed. But as far as them being fined or put in the pound for running around, I think the thought was that as long as they were spayed and neutered, or whatever it is, that they would be kind of exempt from that part of the bylaw, as long as they weren't being a nuisance. Was kind of what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that would be my only issue as well, if they were to say, go to somebody's yard and kill chickens or. You know, I mean, then what's the,
Then they would be considered a nuisance, would they not?
I did add a definition for nuisance and tried to make it pretty extensive.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel about the definition.
And I guess from administration's point too, the other question is whether they're licensed but not sprayed, it's spayed or neutered.
So,
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
Well, it talks about if they're licensed, spayed and neutered and identifiable. Well, what if somebody licensed an unspayed or neutered cat?
I don't think they were.
And what's it, like, with the dogs, we have different categories,
Then
right?
if they get picked up.
do we just make the cats the same as the dogs?
Cause with female cats, if they're spayed. You're not gonna, when we pick them up, we're not gonna be able to know if it's not spayed or spayed. Right?
Well, unless you have
It's
a
not spayed.
But I think in here it talks something
I
about.
think,
Yeah,
I think that you would
supposed to
ask
have
them that
proof.
when, I think that you would ask them that when they license it, would you not?
yes,
But I thought you had.
So then
to
you
give
would
proof.
know.
There was something here that said you had to give the best
If
proof.
things
saying
are
that you-
picked up, they have to give proof, right?
Yeah,
yeah, but
Or
see
leave
where,
it
I see where I'm going though, because it says that it's not an offense. For a spayed or neutered, identifiable or licensed cat be roaming. But yet, so then if we're picked one up that isn't spayed or neutered,
Does
then it
actually
is an
change that.
offense.
Then it is an offense.
Okay, I just wanted clarity on that from administration.
Yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, I think it's not an offense if they're spayed or neutered, and it is if they're not.
Sorry, can you say that one more time? You kind of cut out there a little bit.
That
Or-
it would be an offense if they are running around not spayed or neutered, and it's not an offense if they are fixed.
I like that.
it says here, every owner of an outdoor cat must be spayed or neutered, and must be licensed.
And also,
But like,
like,
it's-
so,
For stupid section
on
5.
the outdoor cats, we don't license indoor cats, is that?
Yeah, what do you do? Ask them?
And then,
Bring
so
it
if
in.
that indoor, if that indoor cat does get out, and it's not licensed, how do we identify?
And that's what it says, the cat shall run at large or be found on public property unless the cat is spayed or neutered and has sufficient identification pursuant to the provision of the bylaw.
And here's the thing, if you have a spayed pet that's causing a disturbance or like, it's covered under the nuisance part, so you have it there, so I think. The way Mayor Hunter had it worded there, would fit having, you know, if they're spayed or neutered, what harm are they gonna do? Right? If a big-
Unless they're a nuisance and they're like going in someone's house, or like
Yeah,
Councillor
and
Puckett
they're
said,
not-
they're, you know,
Not covered
wreaking
under the
havoc.
bylaw, so you got them that way, so.
Yeah, it does.
For the intent of the bylaw, and so that it's not, you know what I mean, overly problematic, which it kind of is, but.
I think that we should change that so that all cats are licensed regardless if they're a house cat or an outdoor cat.
Okay, I like that too.
Because.
I agree with that as well.
All dogs have to be licensed.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah, oh, would you say all pets? Or no, just most of the cats.
You better not license your airport.
Yeah, I was just thinking that might be other challenge, I don't know.
I agree with that.
Was there anything else that needed to be looked at for as far as clarification?
Just the appendix, so the schedule A.
You read that out down below.
So at the bottom.
After, you know, leaves.
And it's just talking about, remember we said, identifying what zones allow for cattle, allow for
Right.
coops without a permit, that sort of thing.
We should do that shit. Rural residential only, is what you have, Cam?
That's the agricultural zone.
Don't you, not much of a farmer, I thought you needed a rooster for your hens to lay eggs.
You do not,
No.
that's a myth.
Okay. That's what I said, I'm not a farmer, and so I was asking somebody who might be, or have more knowledge on
That's a, that's
it.
a myth.
I think you need a rooster so them
To hatch is for fertilized eggs.
That's right.
It's like humans.
Yeah. It's great. Can you think about it?
Sorry, that was really bad. Anyone schedule 8, does everyone see it? Is everyone okay with it?
Sorry.
What's the major difference here that we're looking for, the difference between like more? So mobile home, multi-residential. And residential are pretty much the same across the board.
Country residential is a little bit different, and then rural residential, everything is permitted.
And that's
So,
based on allowable uses under the zoning bylaw.
country residential, hens and coops are permitted, and livestock is permitted.
What would be
And she was-
involved in the special permit process? I just wonder about the multi-residential one, just because, I mean, you think that maybe the neighbors would need to be consulted, or? I'm just curious about that one.
Not that I'm crazy about roosters in particular, I know this could probably make a lot of people unhappy. Or not maybe, but for country residential, because the lots are generally of a significant size. Could we go permitted by special permit? Or do we wanna do that, no? Or just rural? How about that you really need a rooster? They're really annoying.
Not permitted anywhere in the rural
Other than, yeah.
residential, other than if you were to get a special permit.
Do we wanna have permanent with special permit at all, or not, just leave it as is?
I think I like rural residential only.
I'm far enough away, so we should actually replace the jumpers and everything.
What are your thoughts, Councillor Webb?
Good with it.
Okay, so,
And just to answer your question, Mayor Hanchar, right now, the permitting process, you do have to get neighbors' permission.
Okay.
Neighbors, if it's within 100 meters, you have to get them to sign off that they're fine with it under the permit application process.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for clarifying that.
And your worship, the territorial vet and that department has offered to actually have a review of the proposed bylaw before it comes back for another
that's
reading.
good, okay,
So make sure there's no contradictions.
so we have a little bit of time on this, is what we're saying?
Yeah, well, because this will go over till September 2nd.
Currently, the only rural residential is like Wilkinson's and your place, register. And so country residential would be like Bellevue for you.
The lake.
And the
Where-
lake was.
yeah.
So that's where it gets tricky.
Okay, so,
Smaller.
yes. So rather than not permitted, I would actually like to see permitted by special permit on the country residential with regards to roosters. Do we have any neighbors okay with it? Fine. But like,
Country residential, you said, or which one?
for country residential to have roosters, permit by special permit. Only.
So rural residential, instead of having being permitted.
No, for rural residential, that stays the same, it's country residential because those lots are typically large enough that.
It says right now roosters not permitted.
Yes, so I'd like to change that to permitted by special permit. So if your neighbors are on board with it, and like you might have to get 4 people to sign it,
Let me
but
see.
with it doing, it's probably like 100 meters, I think. And it at least gives you the option to pursue that versus just absolutely no. You guys okay with that?
Yeah, I would probably be in time with that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so
Excellent.
No, this, now we worship, this will be able to, like I said, the September 2nd.
Do you need a motion to table?
yes, please.
I'll
Motion.
move to table this to September 2nd, did you say? Committee of the whole meeting.
I can second that.
All in favor of tabling this until the September meeting, thank you. It's passed. Next we have the second and third and final reading of the building and restrictions bylaw 2025 05.
I'll move.
Thank you.
Third reading, third and final.
I'll second that.
Any questions, concerns?
Not for me.
None?
No.
Okay, no question, all in favor of passing second and third final reading of the building commitment restriction bylaw 2025 05? All in favor? Say yes, thank you, passed. Next on our agenda, we have the second reading of the business license bylaw 2025 06. Can I ask administration, what were the major different, there was quite a few changes from the old one, what were the glaring omissions?
So at the last council meeting, you guys talked about minor business activities, you talked about hawkers, markets, I think those were the main ones, and then we also talked about multiple business categories operating out of one property. And what that secondary licenses would look like. So no amendments were made from your guys' last conversation based on your feedback out of the last cow.
So, so do you have any, recommendations about what number, was floating around the office with regards to secondary businesses licenses, so like you need a license to. We were gonna go ahead with that, weren't we?
There's something between $25 to $50, but the original. What Shannon had said, the original cost for a business is $125. So then if they have subsequent businesses within that, that's what we need to decide on that amount there.
So let's take. Tags as an example. So would they, how many business licenses would they need there, RV park? Gas station, restaurant? Laundromat?
Convenience stores.
Retail.
Liquor store, retail?
Yeah.
See how it just keeps,
Yeah, so like, at what point do you, cause your previous business license was $125.
Yeah.
That covered everything, and now we're gonna pass something that jumps up to like $400 or $500. That seems,
I don't think that's the
Unfair.
intention. The intention based on bylaws recommendation is like to say it's like $25, $30 for additional licenses.
$25 wouldn't be as bad. Do we want that? Or business license is business license?
Well, no, because, I mean, you've got somebody like Ina, say, who's paying $125. They're a small little space
Yeah,
where she can get one person in there at a time.
no, understood.
You got somebody like Tags, where you got a laundromat, restaurant, gas bar,
$25 per session isn't gonna kill them, is what you're saying?
I don't think they have a lot more business than she does. I don't think it's fair that they all pay the same amount.
Is 25 seem reasonable, do you, that's what we get?
It's not just up to me to create.
Yeah, I'm
that,
asking
or
her.
to just, but I do,
Spot.
but no, it's okay, but I don't wanna talk about an amount, but I do agree that I think. You know, they are making revenue off of multiple different sources, and so there is the capacity to.
So I think that we should look at that. I mean, I don't know what a dollar amount either, but I think that it's not fair that. You know, one business. Making all the revenue that they're making and another business making a lot less revenue or paying the same number of businesses.
Okay, and under the appendix B, you can see which are the categories. So it'd be like accommodations, automobile, cannabis, childcare. There's, Tags is probably a bad example because it has as many, probably the most of these that you can possibly imagine, but like. If it was, say, the hotel, you have hotel, restaurant. And. But I think,
But like technically, the RV park and the building are separate
yeah,
areas. So that's almost a separate business license technically.
So $25, I think, would,
But you register or you register through tags for your lot.
And
Your neighbor. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it's two businesses in that capacity, but you know, like,
Yeah, no,
it's just looking at. But yeah, I mean, Thomas, when you start looking at that and you go, they have this many, and then you start adding on your $25 for all these different things, you're right, it does.
double the business license. But
I understand
really-
the need for like having some sort of log of all the different activities that are going on, but I also think that we need to be really careful about discouraging business. Do you know what
So
I
you
mean?
don't-
Like I think I think if
if.
I just think it should be low, like the add-ons. I'm not against having the add-ons, but I think that they should be fairly low.
that's
Like as
what
low as
I-
Yeah,
possible.
that's what I mean, Laura, because once you start adding them up, it gets quite substantial, you know, when you think of,
Mhm.
you know, all of that.
So I think
I think we should be, yeah.
I think that at this point, we just have to decide on a dollar amount.
Well, like, look at Andrews, you got the hotel, the restaurant and the convenience store, but a hotel. You got rooms and you got a restaurant, that's an hotel, and then I could see the convenience store being an add-on. Or like the hotel, and then do you add them on to have the restaurant and the hotel rooms, or like? You know what I'm saying?
They are different businesses, though, I mean, you know, I'm not necessarily gonna go there and rent a hotel room, but I might wanna go there and have a drink.
So they would have
So
one hotel.
So I-
But if you go solo, it's not even worth your time to police it. You know what I mean? Like if you go $5, well, then it's not worth your time, but like 25 seems a little high. 20?
But
So
even
I-
the nice thing I think about,
High, I mean, look at the revenue that's coming about.
Exactly.
So 20, so where are you at with the dollar figure?
I'd say around 25 bucks, I got no problem with that, I'm just, how do you place that, like, you can't. The different, like, you just use example as cakes in a hotel, you got the liquor, you got the laundromat, you got the restaurant, you got the gas bar, you got the RV park. And then you go to Andrews, you got the hotel rooms and restaurant.
bar,
and they have a laundromat.
they have a
And the
laundromat.
bar,
Yeah.
laundromat, and store, but how do you categorize the first part of it? Like, does the hotel count as one, or does the hotel count as just rooms, or does it count as rooms in the restaurant? But
Well,
I
I
guess that's
guess
different,
You
right?
have to look at their business license and what did they actually apply for on the business license? Was it stipulated?
How about? I don't know,
Is there any, so.
How much are we really gonna gain?
Is there any benefit to, like, do we have any kind of, like, do they get advertised on our town site?
You know, can bring in like whatever.
No, but I'm just saying, do we advertise
Leave it as it.
knowing what they have?
there
That's
is a business directory on the website, but it needs to be updated.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we do add them to the business directory, right?
that's correct.
Yeah.
So that's the joy then, them telling us too what they have, so we can advertise, I just thought I'd put that out there. I thought that's what happened, so thank you.
I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. No, I'm just
You know,
thinking like,
very little, you a whole bunch of paperwork. Is it worth the paperwork? It's up to you, I guess.
I think you could tack on $5 to the regular business license and just cover that would just cover it completely. And not have to split hairs. You get the same amount of money, if revenue is what you're looking for,
Yeah.
So
but
basically
there's
what we're
not-
saying then is a multifunctional business would pay this amount, whereas a one-dimensional business would pay.
or we could do that deal.
Well, you could put it in the staged effect, so 125 is for one business.
Hmm.
150 is for like.
Multiple
Multiple
businesses.
up to a certain amount, and then above is 200, you know.
Do you
That's.
Ad-
sounds
admin-
reasonable.
know of any other municipality that I guess charges for business licenses like that?
They all have quite different categories, and it's all different amounts, and every municipality is different, that's the unfortunate part. But we can, if you get this through second reading tonight, then it comes back on September 2nd, we can have more research done on how those fee tables work in other communities before you go for final reading.
And we don't need to really have the number, final number, because
Until you go
it's
with
part
the
of the
final.
fees and charges bylaw,
Yes, that's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
okay.
So I guess we could do second reading.
I'll move
Tonight,
to approve second reading
thank you, for the
of
seconder.
business license bylaw.
I'll second.
I have a seconder, and so all in favor of passing the second reading? Thank you, passed, and so we're gonna revisit that, the final act, like the final part of that in September, just so everyone knows. And we're gonna do some research on looking to other communities, how they go about theirs, and figure out a scale that works for us in our community. Okay, number 10, third and final reading of the Community Services Grant Bylaw 2025-07.
And your worship, just for the record, Mayor Anchar is logging on. She's another reading.
Anderson, thank you for attending
Hey,
and
Lauren.
your input.
Thanks for chairing, Thomas, and thanks everybody. I'll talk to you later.
Hi, Laura.
So, third and final reading of this is how we can provide grants and, so things like the seniors, the churches, help and hope get, tax break
Non-profits.
and nonprofits. So that's what we're, voting on.
What percent, what,
This is a new, sorry.
I missed that, I'm like,
So what this bylaw is to provide for community service grants to local nonprofit, religious and charitable organizations. Such as the Outdoor Recreation Association, Help and Hope. Seniors, the Riding Association, Watson Ski Club, those are the 5, I believe. So we vote to give them a break on their taxes so that those are nice people.
I only have one question, so. What's the criteria other than being nonprofit? So that we give, that's it, because they're nonprofit, we give them a tax.
No, they have to supply their financial statement, they have to be in good standing with the Societies Act.
I would agree with that.
And then the base of the deduction is based off of their financial documents, so if their income or their funding is at a certain amount, then they get less. And if they have a lower income, then they get more.
So is there a threshold where we say we don't give you a tax break or?
Not in the agreement, but it's very low.
Yeah.
I don't, Tiffany, you didn't, is it?
Yeah, policy's in there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tiered
Yeah.
based on income and assets.
Yeah.
There's three classes or 3 tiers total.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds good.
Call question, all in favor of passing the third and final reading of the Community Services Grant Bylaw? Sorry,
The first and second motion.
this is third and final,
Third and final, yes, so we.
I'll make a motion to approve the third and final reading of the Community Services Grant Bylaw 2005-07.
thank you, Councilor
I
Pitt.
second the motion.
Thank you, Councilor Pitt.
I'm sorry, it's actually not in there, but it was in the last previous meeting. The policy, yeah. I just looked.
Okay, so all in favor? Thank you. Almost done, we have the flag protocol policy 2025-01. We have a mover to open discussion on this?
I will do a special on flight policy, 1.51.
You can check that.
Second.
I like this policy, actually. I like the way it's laid out. I like that it's got some specifics to it, which I like. Whoever made this up, good job, thank you.
I think it's far more concise than some of the other ones I saw that had an absolute plethora of a list of these days. You know, we'll figure out which days we're gonna have special
Yeah.
stuff going on as well, but like it allows us to be in the driver's seat, I think.
And I like that the highway, we put the highway in there, which I like, because we have special flags, so we don't need to have any other flags along the highway other than Okay, you switch on that.
So, I guess.
Comments, Norma?
Yeah, no, I'm happy with this.
Billy? No?
Well, question all in favor of the flag protocol policy?
So this is our, how many readings do we need for this?
This is just a policy, you don't need flags.
Perfect. Okay, all in favor, yep, me.
Carry.
Okay.
All right, lastly, that's correspondence.
Yes, and something else too, as Kirby's on here too, as well, your worship, she got some updates from YG before you go on summer break. So we have received, I don't know if you remember, but we had a window smash at White Lake Cabin. And that was the night, that would have been the night of the craft fair at the rec center, or the garage, community garage set. Remember they had the tables for the garage sale? So anyways, we had a window smash, I got called that early that morning about a broken window at White Lake Cabin, went over it. Yes, and we, and maybe, I'm not sure if it's fortunate or unfortunate enough, but the person was foolish enough to post pictures of it on their social media. And so anyways, by the time I got ahold of the RCMP, they had already arrested the individual. So the individual's has been through diversion through the community wellness court system. And we've been directed by the elders in the sentencing circle that they must do a verbal apology to municipality. So, we've been asked if council is okay with that individual attending the next council meeting and apologizing to mayor and council. For the
Are they ready for the window?
Well, we're still sorting that part out. Yeah. But anyway, so they wanted the wellness court wanted to know if council was in agreement to having that person actually come and do an apology. It's part of the.
I think it's part of the reconciliation, I guess.
I would agree to it.
Yes, okay,
Yes.
so we'll set that up for August, we'll aim for August 19th. And if that doesn't work, then we'll have it for the September meeting. Okay,
Okay,
and then the other thing that I have on my list is that the health transformation to the health authority, the healthcare transformation to health authority group wants to come and meet with mayor and council. And they're looking to book a time in between, unfortunately, while you're on break, it's in between July 2nd and July 7th and July 9th. They have openings to meet with council.
I'm gonna be on the provisions.
Okay.
Available.
Yeah, but if anybody else is available, then they're going to meet and talk about the transition from the hospital court to a health authority. I know normally you've probably had some of the presentations.
Yeah.
At the hospital court, I have as well, but if anybody else is interested in saying we're getting any proceeds and stuff, but if you guys are interested, they're more than willing to come and meet with council.
Is there an appetite out there?
I'm probably available at this point,
I know that my family has till the 10th or the 11th at least, so those days don't meet.
What was the date on that, sorry?
It's in between the 7th and the 9th, so July, which is
Monday or Wednesday.
Monday to Wednesday of that.
I mean, I could try, but I can't guarantee. If I'm hearing more than the windows.
Yeah,
Maybe the week before we'll shoot out a text and find out where everyone is.
Yeah, it is.
yeah, okay. And then to go along with that, next week on Wednesday, the 25th, is the hospital corpse community barbecue from 12 to 1. So if anybody's available, please attend. Although I will be in attendance, open for burgers like every other year.
And tomorrow is the one that the government puts on, YTG puts on.
Yeah, the public
Yeah.
service.
Public Service Commission, yeah.
That's from one time, what's it?
11:30 to I think 1.
Was it Park?
Park, yeah.
I'm doing that, I'll set.
Probably viewers out there.
tomorrow, so.
All right, so those are the two things I have on my list, and your worship, Courtney.
So I'm gonna open the floor to
Hi, everyone.
Courtney Livingston. Inform us about
Thank you,
something.
Chair. Can you guys hear me okay? Great. I'll keep this quick, and it's 2-0, 4 minutes left in the second.
Oh.
Right now.
Good news.
2-0 for the Panthers.
Well, wait,
And-
yeah, that's always one of them.
All right.
Thank you.
That'll re-up. Okay, elected officials training. So we have set up some training for mayors and councils. There's a lunch and learn happening tomorrow that mayor has registered for, which is great. If there's any other interest, I can send you the link to register for the session. This is all about asset management, and as mayor and council, what should you be thinking in your role related to assets, related to strategic planning, thinking about long-term assets and sustainability for your communities. And then also pivoting to, in the fall time, when you start thinking about your budget cycle, what are the questions that mayor and council should be thinking about and asking of their administration related to sustainable asset management. So just to keep in mind, if you can't make the lunch and learn tomorrow, there will be another offering where the NAMS Canada will develop a course that's just for your council. So it would be up to you to determine the time over the next year between now and the end of March. And that you could have a specific session just for your council where they consider where you're at with your asset management strategies and develop a session just for your learning. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that is an option. Also, the minister is still interested and available to do some community tours when he's back at work. So now, because council's taking a break, there is an option for something in late August. So if there's any dates, if council is still interested in having the minister come visit for a community tour, then let me know. And if there's any specific dates that you have in mind in late August, it'd be great to know, and I can pass that along. And finally, in response to the 2023 resolution to initiate a comprehensive joint review of the Municipal Act, Community Affairs and the Association of Yukon Communities are working together to finalize a terms of reference for a Municipal Act Review Committee. So just to be clear, at this time, we don't have a mandate to revise the Act, but this committee is meant to do some initial investigation, and that will inform and shape the direction of any future legislative work. It's going to be focused to facilitate discussion and stakeholders, identify key issues, explore options, solutions, and document this work into a report. This opportunity is best suited to staff such as the CAO and somebody who works closely with the Municipal Act. But we are looking to AYC is looking to identify folks who might be interested in joining this committee. So putting that out there for you. That's it.
One. Geez, asset management stuff. Oh, we should get them to come down and talk to us at some point before November.
Councillor Sliders, or I mean, Councillor Puckett's also registered to attend tomorrow.
So we're gonna make it tomorrow,
We can look at, your worship, we can look at dates. Working with Courtney further down in the year.
okay. And then at least we have one person who'll be well versed.
Lauren's doing.
Oh, she was okay. I know a little bit about it, but probably not all, everything, that's for sure. Yeah. Any other appetite for another? We're busy tomorrow, I'm so, or
What's that?
are you busy tomorrow working? You wanna be on a webinar with to learn about team asset management?
Well, we follow that just on a bunch of really here.
Understood. Well, thank you. What else do we need?
Yeah, we'll get back to Courtney further on.
Yeah, we'll get back to you, Courtney, with a list of available people.
What time is it? What time?
Tomorrow it's from
Yeah.
12 to 1.
Uh,
Right, 12 to 1.
For the lunch and learn, hey?
Yeah.
if I'm here, I'll try, if I'm here, I'll go, but.
Well, there's a link at the beginning of the email that was sent.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Councilor Open Forum. Do we have any questions or concerns before we go on our break? No, start.
Something that, like today, out there, with that grand opening of the solar farm. Listening to the chief. Another one is recognizing the town and the band. And we working together is really good to hear. Maybe there's an opportunity that we should try and set up another meeting to see how we can. Further the whole working together and maybe.
I completely agree with Councilor, there's many opportunities in stack, like, when you have the, if we had LFM on board with us or on various proposals, there's money out there. That we could pursue to make our town a splendid place, it's just a matter of getting people to sit down and agree on. Not just their priorities, but like, who's gonna put together the package and like, what are you going to go after, right? There's a bunch of money available to do wonderful things, we just have to find it and keep our ears open, because there's opportunities all the time.
For sure, but how do we just, it's how do we go about?
See something that looks good, find out if there's money available, and when we do see that opportunity, say, okay, let's take this idea, and kick it up the chain.
Do we try to sit down every 3 months and have a meeting, or like, how do we go from here? We went to the Nugget, it went really hard. We can't, that I felt good in it. Now listening to it there today, and it sounds more and more that they're interested in having a relationship with the town, and it's something that we've wanted for a long time.
Agreed, I think we're making steps.
So I think
we wanna look at, like, when would you like that meeting?
I don't know, yeah, I'm just throwing it out there for all of us, it's something.
Your worship, I think, I made notes that, Chief Charlie had committed to quarterly meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going on a break here, but,
And I think,
August is before hunting season, maybe.
but I think also looking at common themes that we both want to recognize that, that we both have together, that we could work together, and then that's sort of, looking for funding, however that looks like, right? But that's the point of us being able to meet, right? Is that
Yeah,
what's
and
common?
we did discuss about the bylaw, somebody working with bylaw and then a rec director, and I think that's a big step. Of working together, that would be huge, especially with the rec director.
Yeah.
And then the bylaw, it would look good.
Would we make up like a meeting agenda then as well?
I would,
Topics that we want to discuss?
yeah,
Yeah, I think that would be good.
But no more than 3 items. Keep it.
yeah,
Well, yeah, because I mean, the first meeting was pretty informal.
I mean,
So having a bit of an agenda, and they have a bit of an agenda, then at least we can, have something that. A little bit more formal, right, as opposed to the first one was pretty.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
even if we come in with 2 topics each.
Yeah.
When we last left off at the minute, was there any, like, future topics to pursue, and was there any?
I think that the bylaw and the rec director were the 2 big ones in there, great,
The
that
dog-
we agreed,
the dog,
I thought it was a
yeah.
great idea, and I think we all did. We're on page 0, it's a great idea, and that's a good step in the right direction.
Yeah,
Before we get into trying to look for funding and all kinds of stuff like that, let's just start a relationship of working together and then
Go from there.
go on to bigger things.
I was thinking that, because sometimes there's a really good opportunity that comes out and says, if you do this,
And if there
you're
is,
like, hey,
jump on it, why not?
it's,
But
this helps out everybody.
Yeah.
it's just, it's a topic, it's a touchy subject. So let's just go into it slowly, we don't have to dive into it, but at least every 3 months or 4 months, sit down and see where they wanna go and see where we wanna go, and like you said, just a few small little topics. We don't have to go in there and think that we're gonna change the world or something, but I mean. We'd all like to, we know, no problem, but unfortunately, we can't.
Yeah, your worship, the topics that were discussed that were brought forward by both sides were the joint bylaw catcher position, community safety program.
Mhm.
Which we discussed last night.
Yeah.
And then the housing development was brought forward by Chief Charlie. And biomass is another thing you talked about, but those are mass projects, like.
For sure, and I mean,
And then rec programmer, and then emergency preparedness.
right,
Was the
so
other
maybe
ones.
those are the three, the bylaw, rec, and justice.
And so what,
That'd be a good start.
I'm willing to start working with them, I just need. We need direction from LFN to their executive director to work with me. Whereas so far that message hasn't got down to that stage.
Right.
Or maybe it has, but they haven't.
It really hasn't went anywhere with
Yeah.
going and having.
Yeah.
But no, you have it, but I mean, that's all about the start.
Well, I'm waiting on their 8-week delivery, so I'm sure they're.
Or we'll give them some.
So.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
send them an email to see if we can get a date or something, and then where do we go, do we meet here, do we meet in there?
Wherever.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's why it's probably better if they reach out with Cam. They can send us the details and then let us know.
and what other communities have been doing with Councilor Webb is that they've been alternating in between venues. So one of the meetings held in our
Yeah.
venue, one's in theirs, so.
Yeah.
But if we can get, or if you can get Chief Charlie to have his ED reach out to me, then we can work through what you guys discussed.
Yeah.
And then bring it back to you guys and say, here's what we're working on. And then then we can work on scheduling the next meeting and then give you guys an
He brings it
update.
up to me quite often, I mean, I don't even bring it up, and he's bringing it up more than I.
That's
So,
good,
That's
that's awesome.
We want what's best for the community, and I think working together is probably the best thing that we can get.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
My staff is really willing to start working the minute that they reach out.
we'll try and touch base with them tomorrow, we see if we can make an appointment to get them in, next speak with them.
Okay.
Right, $9. So on that note,
I think anybody else have-
yeah, does anyone else have any clear, I just wanted to know about flagpoles, being in for September. And whether or not we have a flag pole.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, I'd like it put on minutes, and I would like to see the CEO's contract.
Sorry.
I would like to see the CEO's contract. I do believe that it is, if we got 5 people sitting here, we got 2 people that are sitting in the dark. And I can't speak for Norman, but I can speak for myself, and I would like to see it.
Your worship, anything to do with employees has to be spoken in camera, not in the.
Yeah, cause it's under legal liability and labor. I don't know how to speak to that, Councilor Rempe, we put right up in camera. Which means that it means strictest confidence.
That's fine, I don't mind it. I'm not saying that, but I feel like I'm being left out. When we came in, we went and sat down, we said it was an hour to us.
Gotcha. No, I understand
Last
that.
year, but how can you be somebody's oversight something when you don't know what to oversight, right?
Gotcha.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not, I just feel like I should know. If I'm in here and everybody else on this, but we don't know, I feel we should know. And that doesn't mean we wanna cause trouble, that doesn't mean anything.
Honestly, this needs to be discussed in camera, does it not?
Yeah.
No,
So yeah, well, station,
about it too.
we don't have,
But I've tried that. and
I know, I
it's not
understand, I understand.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying a different angle, and I'm, like I'm saying, I don't wanna be raising voices, I wanna be mature
Yeah,
and,
but we need to
Realistic.
discuss it in camera.
yeah,
so yeah, that will have to. Be on a different day, cause it won't run up on the agenda. So on that note, we'll have to take that forward. Do you have any other councillor issues looking for?
I don't have anything.
Don't have anything in the challenge for you.
Yeah. So on that note, I think we're pretty much finished here, and we don't, because it's regular. The council meeting, we don't have, committee of the whole, we don't have questions from the gallery, that's at the first. meeting of the month, and thank you for watching. And I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. I'll second.
All in favor? There we go. Passed.